Three, two. Welcome back to NFL football. Javal, how are you doing today?
Buddy, fantasy drafts are done.
Yep.
We're seeing real live football tonight. Oh man, this is crazy. I can't believe we're here. It still just feels the off season. It always just it feels so dragged out, but at the same time, everyone's just whoa, football's here already. And it's just crazy how it feels dragged out but fast at the same time. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I feel like it's moving fast for me just because well, when life moves fast, in a personal level, then you're like, oh damn, we already got this. We got the Jags going on Sunday. And we have football tomorrow too, which is very weird. I know high school football wasn't like it that much, but whatever. We got another NFL game, even though it's in Sao Paulo, Brazil, of all places. So
Yeah, I don't know
I'm
what they're
very
cooking with
curious.
that, but
Yeah. But other than that, Jaguars football Sunday, Miami Dolphins. How are you feeling? I guess less than 72 hours away from kickoff.
uh, I'm kind of just I'm looking. It's one of those games I could see the Jags winning, but I'm not expecting a win. I'm kind of just. It's a early, so I don't want to overreact too much because the thing with football is that it's always a marathon, not a sprint. So how teams play in September, it's not how they play in December, and vice versa. So you know, it's just because of the opponent they're playing, especially in September. I know it's not going. It's going to be a difficult match for the defense. If the defense I feel it's one of those games where if they play well, I'm overreacting. If they don't play well, I'm not overreacting. Mainly the defense, because if the offense plays well versus the Dolphins defense, I don't want to say the Dolphins have nobodies because they do have good players. Javon Holland. We'll see if Ramsey's gonna play, which would be the first time facing the Jags since in a while. So it looks like he may not play right now, especially because the Dolphins have a Thursday night game. So they're trying to. The Dolphins are already banged up, which I feel they're always injured. The fact that the season hasn't even started and they're already hurt is kind of unfortunate for them. But the Dolphins have good players. Javon Holland, Ramsey. We'll see if he plays. Linebacking core, has got
Yeah, Jalen
potential.
Phillips.
Yeah, Jalen Phillips is coming back from a torn ACL, so I heard he's gonna. I saw read he's gonna be on a pitch count. So we'll see how effective he is coming back. But if he's healthy, he's a pretty good pass rusher. They don't have Chubb though, so the defense is just banged up. And even when it's fully healthy, it's not the scariest defense, but they have players. They have a new DC though, so
Hmm.
I don't know what to expect from the Dolphins defense, and that's kind of I don't know. That leads me to I don't know how good the Jags offense should be. I think that should be fairly good as long as the offensive line isn't terrible, which
Give or take. That's basically our question mark too. Their question mark is just to see how their defense meshes in their new system. It's kind of both ways when it comes to Jacksonville, Miami, since we saw a little bit what Nielsen's defense was amid to, pretty good amount of success in the preseason, but that's out the window now. We're no longer 3-0, we're 0-0 again. So, just tough opponent, especially on offense. They got weapons on offense. Mostert, Achan, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, hell, Jonnu Smith even. He
dude,
torched us last year.
I just
So,
have a John is just the player who it would be so Jags if Tyreek it's because I drafted Tyreek and Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert in one league that they're going to do nothing and Jonnu Smith is going to cook us who I have on my bench. I need to start all the Dolphins at this point.
you either suffer for success or you succeed in suffering, is what you're trying to say.
One league I only have my only Dolphin is Jonnu Smith. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's just one of those things where game plan wise, I feel on defense, obviously you just have to kind of hope to slow them down enough. You're gonna hope that the D line can take over because, the thing with the Dolphins is that I feel they're similar to us in a lot of ways, but different, very different in the main big aspect. Because
Hmm.
I mean, I feel with the Dolphins, their offensive line has been just in rebuild pretty much forever. it's just funny because I'll see some Dolphins fans and they're saying that Chris Greer hasn't built a good O line in 9 years, which I feel is actually kind of true. I mean, O line's hard to get right though, so
Yeah, but
they're in a
like,
similar boat to us, where their offensive line is needy, but they can do a better job of coaching around the offensive line.
yeah. And that's the big kind of matchup to look like is just what front seven versus front seven is going to look like at the end of the day. That's kind of like I feel like the deciding factor for this coming Sunday is that how good will the Dolphins how bad is the I can't say I hate saying how bad the Jags offensive line is going to be because that's
You
just been
say
the
it. I don't hate
expectation.
saying it.
Yeah, I know, but like, can the Jaguars' offensive line not be too much of a hindrance to where ETN can break out a big run or two and give Trevor Lawrence time in the pocket to protect against a very banged up Dolphins defensive line? And can the Jaguars' retooled defensive line really break through a Dolphins offensive line that has shown in the past to be, also less than desirable as well?
It's
And if
yeah.
you just kind of go like position versus position, you think that the Jaguars front seven will do a lot more than Miami's front seven against, Trevor Lawrence on Sunday.
It's just coaching though. I mean, both Trevor and Tua have really quick releases to throw, which is a product of having bad offensive lines. They're going to gain the ball very quickly. The only thing is Tua gets the ball out even further downfield than Trevor just because he has guys in space who are getting open. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really just it's can Mike McDaniel get guys open quickly enough in order to prevent Tua from getting killed, which I think he can. And it's just one of those things where there's going to be some new wrinkle that you just don't know what to. You can do all the game planning in the world, all the
And there's always
preparation.
something new thrown by either
There's
Press Taylor, Doug Peterson, or Mike McDaniel going into
gonna be something
it.
bad thrown by Press and something great called by Mike. Where I feel Nielsen can call up a perfect game, and then Mike can just be one step ahead of him, just because that's just kind of how Mike is, and even just not just the motion and all that stuff, but even just being able to get different looks in the run game with the same alignment, being able to just throw, being able to set up plays. He does that really well. So we have to see. I mean, it's just September Dolphins. Just don't let 70 get dropped on us, and to have some self-respect.
Yeah, that's the thing though. It's like the Dolphins have all those X factors on offense. Not even just like good players, they're just legit like potentially elite like speed. There's like good talent, but like the speed is just there everywhere. Whether that's like I said, Achan, Waddle, Hill, hell, Mostert on his day, just being a goal line vulture. Just that's just how good they were. At points last year. They just had that terrible collapse in December when it started mattering the most, kind of like Jacksonville did. But that's also a product of them not being able to stay healthy. But it's the NFL though. Every team is never truly
Really
100%
healthy,
healthy.
yeah.
But it's trying to see who gets out the gate. Like go, I think whoever gets out of the gate faster and looks more dominant, controlling the line of scrimmage, is going to be the team that wins this football game. Because I think both big plays are going to be there for both sides, in Jacksonville and Miami. It's just who can control the line of scrimmage at the end of the game that will truly make a difference.
I mean, I can't even say who has the better offensive line because I don't think both offensive lines are really that good. I mean, I think Mike Daniel can do a better job once again scheming for the line, but then how will Nielsen try to combat that? How will try
Hmm.
to get pressure, and we'll see just our first time really seeing Armstead play. They say he's not going to be on a pitch count, so
Hmm.
I feel Arms is one of those guys who definitely kind of. I would have thought they were going to try to ramp him up slower in the year, and just kind of just rotate him in, and then by December try to unleash him, keep him healthy for the stretch. And in San Francisco, it was banged up a lot,
Hmm.
so we'll see how that goes. The one
There's
thing
a
I am,
lot. No, go for it.
the one thing I'm very curious to see is I was listening to Gus Logue today, and he was giving a breakdown. He was giving some quotes, and it was one by it was some Nate, and I don't think it was Nate Diaz, but it was just a athletic insider, and he was just saying how based off what he saw from camp, he thinks the Jags are going to be more of an outside zone, under center play action team, And we saw some of that in preseason,
Yeah.
some more under center stuff. So I remember literally Brett Coleman for 2 years now has been saying, hey, ETN is best at running outside zone. Why aren't the Jags running outside zone? And then Gus is just kind of saying that the Jags just tried a little bit of everything on the running game, but nothing. They're a jack of all
There's no
trades.
identity
Yeah, they didn't have
on
an identity. So I'm just curious to see, can they even if they're the 23rd best outside zone team, can they just do it enough where even if they're not elite at it, they can just get a semi-functional running game? Because really, if you can, even if it's not a consistent, you have ETN who can make some splash plays, and I think he's a good outside zone guy. Just get him in kind of the edge. So we that's the thing I'm curious to see the most is more so not only how do they just not so how do they play they play well, but the schematics, the X's and O's, and what do they do on offense, especially the running game, because that was just under such a microscope for all part of last season. So
Mhm.
how can they make the running game different coaching wise? Obviously they got Mitch Morse, but are they going to just do the same running concept with Mitch Morse, or are they going to try to streamline it so hey, we're just going to be a mainly outside zone, and then throw in a few other concepts here and there? But are they going to be able to really have one running strength? Because even if they're not a good running team, if they can just do one or two variations of plays at a decent enough level, that's fine with Trevor. You just want to get to an average-ish running game. Can
Yeah.
they do that? I still doubt it because the offensive line hasn't looked great. Maybe if they'd be more of a zone-heavy team, I can, because I feel
We
whenever
have
they
good
try to do,
athletes. Like there's good athletes on
yeah.
the
I mean,
Jaguars offensive line.
I feel Ezra is a good puller in space. I mean, hell, even Fortner was terrible at everything else, but Fortner in
When
space
he
could
got to that
actually,
second level, yeah,
yeah,
that's
when he's blocking people that are 250 and not 290.
yeah,
Actually, with
exactly.
NFL linebackers, it's closer to 230.
230
So,
now. Yeah.
which is still kind of strong for him. But
Yeah.
so
No, but
I'm just really curious to see
can we
how,
prevent
yeah.
Trevor Lawrence from playing hero ball 75% of the year is basically what we're asking for. Can we stop having Trevor Lawrence save our ass? I mean, we'll have those games where he has to play hero ball. That's the nature of the NFL beast. You will have to have games where you want your quarterback to step up in the most, and we are fully confident in Trevor Lawrence enough to where Jacksonville decided to make him the highest paid quarterback until Jordan Love was that guy.
Yeah, highest paid quarterback for a week and change.
Yeah, exactly. But then so it's just can we give the offense can we give the offense direction? Can the new weapons on offense, whether that's Gabe Davis or Brian Thomas, that direction the Jaguars need in the passing game as well? Because we know Kirk will get his, Evan Ingram will get his, hell, ETN will get his. Despite terrible rushing games, he will break out for a big run every so often. That's just how talented we know that he is. Can we have other pieces step up? If God forbid Christian Kirk goes down, though, can Parker Washington step up? How much is Devin Duvernay gonna affect the offense week one? Just all the little beats and pieces that we've seen throughout preseason and is going to culminate on how this team looks to start the season and then for the rest of the way. Are you gonna really use Tank Bigsby more because they had to limit his touches last year after he was a turnover machine during that first month of the season? So, can we expect more from other players except for the guys that we know are already well established in this Jaguars offense?
I mean, that obviously you don't want to put too much stock into new players and how they do week one, overreacting and such. Especially with the nature of the offense, it's gonna be hard for everyone to have a balanced game. Some guys
Yeah.
are just gonna have a heavier game script. So we'll really see how the pecking order shakes out because I don't see it happening pretty soon. I know there's been a lot of hype around BTJ recently. Ocho Cinco was just saying, the Dolphins aren't going to respect him early on. They're going to give him, they're going to say, hey, make us pay you or make us respect you. But then Mike McDaniels was saying that they were doing a lot of scouting on him for the speed, which would have been
Of
so. If the
course.
Dolphins drafted Brian Thomas, That would have been so stupid. I'm not gonna lie though. I want him to be on my team, but I kind of would want to see that offense. That would be just
That sicko type of offense. But they
yeah.
had more pressing
That's a
needs.
Madden.
Chop Robinson being their first round pick is that who's like, a very good athlete, but also not well polished as a pass rusher. So like,
Oh
can
yeah,
we
I mean,
limit? Yeah, can we limit guys like that getting production week 1, 2? Just can we block? And can if other people's names are called that are like our stars, can we get at least like a good player or two out of some of them? That's basically what I'm asking for. They don't gotta go for like 100 rushing yards, 100 passing yards, or like a big 60-yard touchdown if they touch the ball. But can we get that production out of like one of those players that are not gonna be starting on Sunday? That's just my big take.
I'm one of those things where I'm cautiously, I'm just cautiously not fully pessimistic, not really optimistic, kind of
Hmm.
just there. I just want to see some touchdowns, but not too many against the Jags.
Yeah,
I can
touchdowns with
I can
the team
handle
wearing teal on white this
I can
Sunday.
handle a loss. I just want it to be an entertaining, close, competitive loss where I can say, okay, yes, we lost to one of the best offenses in the league on week one, where they're usually at their best. So I just don't want to go on the timeline and be embarrassed. That's all.
And that's the thing, though. I don't see a scenario where this team gets embarrassed on Sunday. I'll be that
Oh,
guy.
John, you just jinxed some stuff.
No,
I'm
did I?
knocking
I
on
mean,
I'm knocking on
I,
every piece of wood I have in this apartment right now. You just
yeah,
jinxed
but
it
that's
now.
just, I know the vibes are like, it seemed way too good in the preseason, but let's go ahead and ride into Sunday. We're supposed to have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Already beat Tua Tagovailoa with fucking Urban Meyer as head coach, first and foremost. It can't get any worse than that for Tua. And just the fact that Tyson Campbell, fully healthy, Ronald Darby, that's the one thing that we didn't even talk about the second day. Ronald Darby, how much can he contain like Jalen Waddle on Sunday? Can we get turnovers again from Andre Cisco, which we know he can, even though it kind of dried up last season? Kind of had a disappointing
I mean,
year.
he had done 4 picks.
Did he last year? I feel like it should have. I didn't feel like it last year. I feel like for me. But can we get those turnovers on Sunday and can we reduce ours? I feel weirdly confident in going to this game just because we know how banged up the Dolphins are and that they know that they have the talent. I just feel like as of now, the Jaguars just kind of feel like a unit that should and could dominate from start to finish on Sunday. Will I be proven wrong? Hey, if you want to be the
Probably.
one that does the cold water on me,
I
sure,
I would I'd
do it.
rather be the one. John, I would love for nothing for you to be pouring the water on me. And it's one of those things where until I see this team play, I'm always going to be a little bit nervous just because there's so much left on the bone last year, and I
You're
don't
just
think.
saying that too because you're the one that's actually going to be down there
Yeah,
in the
I'm the one
stadium.
who's paying money
Yeah.
for this game,
Yeah, so
so
I see why you're super cautiously not like a downer. You're just cautiously optimistic because this
they could
team
win, and
could
I
be.
wouldn't be that surprised. That's the thing. No outcome would surprise me. They could blow the Dolphins out. I wouldn't be that shocked. It could be a close win. I wouldn't be that shocked. It could be a close loss. It could be a blowout loss. And nothing surprises me with any outcome of this team because I know that they can just be so volatile. And obviously, I think the team is good. We have to see on paper. I mean, really, just
On the field,
Nielsen's
not on
scheme.
paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just have the game isn't played on paper. We
Yeah.
have to see Nielsen's scheme translate fully versus one of the best offenses in the league off rip,
Hey,
and then
what a good
just
test to have week one. It's kind of what you kind of want. You want to set the tone early, and guess what? If you get a win against one of the best offenses in the NFL, that sets up the tone for the whole season. So I feel like a lot of people aren't giving the Jags a chance, and I think that's just what, drives Jacksonville to be that team where it could be, but will it be the team that will be during the course of 2024 to 2025?
I guess we'll see on that how everything goes. But yeah, man, I'm just looking. I'm cautiously optimistic, but also at the same time a little bit pessimist, just because it's the Dolphins offense. So even if
If
for everything, if they put up 40 on us, I won't even be upset. Kind of just oh well.
All right, but I guess we'll just go ahead and shoot for it since I'm not going to be able to watch the game because I will be at work, unfortunately.
Put it on the Apple
But
TV. Just put it
I
on
think I'm
there.
just gonna have a ear pod in one of my ears and just listen to the game on the Sirius XM app on my phone, so I can get away with it that way. Which is,
Well, yeah,
big IQ moves. You'll be
I'll
boots on
be
the
glad
ground.
if
I'll be texting you once I go on my break that day to see, hey, how you feeling? Whether it's like we're up by 20 or down by 20, I will text you either way during the course of that game. But I guess, well, do we do a prediction? Are we gonna
we can
jinx
do a
ourselves?
prediction.
Sure. Actually, before that, it's besides Jags. I feel like we should try to go against each other, try to pick games off, like just pick games in general. And I'll just keep note of. I think I
Okay,
forgot
I
to keep
mean,
track all of last year. We'll go to do our game last, but I want something since the first week of the NFL season. I feel like we have to do something to not only extend the pod, but kind of have, like to see who has better ball knowledge. I feel like it'd be fun. You probably have more ball knowledge than me, though. I will admit that. I'm in a money league where I have to pick against the spread, and I'm not confident at all in my spread knowledge.
are
We'll
we
just do
doing
games straight up.
who's winning? Yeah, I was gonna say
Yes, spread is
spread is
two.
always where it gets me. I can
Yeah,
never pick the spread.
nope. But I'm in a league where I pay $20, so now I have two every single week. So all right, first game of the season, Ravens and Chiefs. Who do you got, Javal?
I don't want to say deja vu and say I'm going to pick the Ravens to win because the Chiefs lost the opener last week. I mean last year, and the Ravens have something to prove. But at the same time, I'm gonna just rock with the Ravens just because. I mean, I the only reason I if Hollywood was there, a Hollywood revenge game would have been hilarious. But he's out. But I think I'll say Ravens win by a field goal or something close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. I mean, two obviously two really good teams. AFC Championship game. Not that much has changed.
Oh
So
God, I'm gonna keep notes right now. But you know what? I actually agree with you 100%. I also chose outright the Ravens to win just because it's week one. Oh, deja vu. Oh, the Chiefs finally looking like a little sus, and then they're just gonna fucking win the
they're
Super
gonna
Bowl again.
they're gonna
And
somehow
yeah.
they're gonna keep saying how what's the most mid we can look in the regular season before just winning it all. And it's gonna be so embarrassing. It's gonna be so annoying when they win the Super Bowl at 7-10.
All right, I'm gonna keep a notes on
They're just gonna
here
sneak in the they're gonna sneak in the wild card somehow, and just
somehow,
be the
some
seventh
way,
seed
and just
and
piss
end
us
up
off.
winning it all. And I'm just going to say I'm not watching NFL ever again until Mahomes retires.
I don't,
The
I
hell
don't
with the
blame you.
sport.
All right, Brazil, the Brazil game, first ever, Packers and Eagles. Javal, who you got?
The team wearing green wins,
The, the team
which the
wearing
Eagles
green.
aren't even wearing green, so I guess it default would be these teams feel pretty well matched. I'm just gonna guess the Eagles because I have AJ Brown on my fantasy team. So I
I
mean,
don't. Oh, so my bad. Any other takes before I say what I think?
now you go. I feel it's pretty matched up.
Yeah, I feel like the Eagles defense has definitely taken a step down, losing a lot of the veteran presence that they had there. So Jordan Love, a lot of, talk about him after being the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. We know the Packers defense is really, really young, but also really, really good. So I got the Packers winning. This is on neutral ground and not on Lincoln Financial Field. I feel like the Packers carry that momentum. Josh Jacobs, new
I don't
running
know. I
back.
feel if there's any city, I feel if there's any city that can closely correlate the chaos of Brazil, it'd be Philadelphia. So it might feel a Philly home
In
game.
Sao Paulo, Brazil. I
Yeah.
wonder how that atmosphere will be too. Will there be a lot of singing and dancing and chanting?
I
I feel
really have no idea how the crowd's going to be. I
Yeah,
wasn't
so that's
really
what
able
makes it
to
exciting.
watch the
That's like
game.
must watch. I hate that's like one of the most much watched games of the week, just for the uncertainty of how Brazil will take to the NFL. But if the NFL believes in Sao Paulo, Brazil, then must have the NFL usually is never wrong when it comes to the international crowds. But first 1 p.m. game on the slate, we have the Steelers and the Falcons in Atlanta.
I'm picking the Steelers only because the Falcons just didn't play at all although the Steelers played in the preseason, but they played bad. The Falcons didn't play in the preseason at all, so it's just I don't even know. And then the Arthur Smith revenge storyline too. I don't. Oh,
Um,
this game is going to be. I don't want to say mid off because I think the Falcons. I mean, I think both teams are kind of in the same good, not some question marks to how great can they be. I'll pick the Steelers for now just because. I mean, we didn't even see Kirk play in the preseason, and this is the first time with a brand new team. So I, it would just also be hilarious if Arthur Smith won in Atlanta and the Steelers offense just dominated. I don't think it will happen, but I just that's the game where that's going to be the game I want to watch solely for the content and the stupidity for the takes because
Two very
Pittsburgh.
hilarious. It's two hilarious fan bases
I feel
going up
yeah that
against one another.
the Steelers are just a dead ass hilarious team, and the Falcons are also a hilarious. And then Arthur Smith game on top of it too. And on top of that, no, actually, I don't know. Russ is right now is dealing with a groin injury or
Who
a
is?
calf. Russell Wilson.
Oh, is he hurt?
So
Oh,
yeah, I
well,
guess yeah. Russell has calf tightness. So if Justin Fields ends up starting week in Atlanta, no, if Fields is starting, I think they actually have a chance. But I guess we'll see. It would
I
just be
got
hilarious.
I got Atlanta just because I trust Kirk Cousins over Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Because he hasn't played, but it's Kirk Cousins. He's been in the league for God knows how long now. He's in his mid-30s. He's got weapons to throw to. So if anybody can unlock Drake London, and if Kyle Pitts is not hurt, as he's hurt again for some goddamn, it's the universe sickest joke for the fucking Falcons. They have like a once in a lifetime generation talented tight end, and then they fucking never use him because he's always hurt. But
They finally, yeah, he gets a half decent quarterback, and his MCL is back to being hurt.
yeah. So I got Atlanta just because it's at home. And fuck Arthur Smith, I guess. I don't know. Fuck the Steelers.
That's
Cardinals and
valid.
Bills in Buffalo.
I'm really tempted. I don't think both defenses are going to be this good. I think this also could be a sneaky shootout. I
I
mean, the
agree.
Bills have just reloaded a ton of talent. So I don't know how good this Bills defense is going to be to start the year. Then the Bills, they just have so much moving bits and pieces around Josh Allen. You know, a lot of new receivers. I don't think. I mean, the O line's obviously they lost Mitch Morris, but the O line's about the same. But defense, so I'll pick the Bills just to be stock. But this is one of those games I can see the Cardinals just coming because the Cardinals they're probably going to be one of the shootout teams every year where the defense is pretty bad. But I mean, the offense they did some good things last year. Not just saying this because I have Kyler and Trey McBride in one league, but you know the offense sneaky. So I'll pick the Bills by now, but I it's one of those games where I really would not be shocked if the Cardinals start out, they just take especially with the Bills, a lot of the players take a while to really gel in the roles. So
Yeah, the line in this game shocked me because it's at 6.5 Buffalo. With some of those moving pieces, like you said, they're starting DeMar Hamlin at safety. So hopefully he plays well.
I
But if he
hope he
gets
plays well.
toasted,
If he gets
he gets
cooked,
toasted.
I
Yeah,
feel
no,
so bad.
we'll never hear the end of it from social media,
He
unfortunately.
could he could he could have a pretty good game and then just have one bad play and that one bad plays. I mean, that's the life of pretty much any offensive line, quarterback, or just pretty much in football, some of those games where you can have play well and then one bad play is on Sports Center.
And that's the thing, though. How good will Kyler Murray to Marvin Harrison Jr. will be right away is the big X factor in this game. Because Trey McBride will get his. James Conner will probably get a touch or two where he looks like, ageless at some point. But it's at a 6.5 line. I think the Cardinals will lose by a field goal. I think it'll be a close game where the Bills kind of coast a little bit. You'll have that dumb Josh Allen turnover that he has every so often too. And just, Bills will win, but the Cardinals will keep it closer than people think.
Yeah, I mean, I could only really take even just two Josh Allen turnovers, and the Cardinals could get maybe 10 points
Yeah,
off that and then flip the game. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm very excited to see how
me
both
too.
Buffalo and the Cardinals do, not only for the season but in general.
All right. We got Titans and Bears in Chicago.
Yes, I think with the Titans, I can't ever pick them to win a game, but I don't want to pick them to be fully out a game. I'll pick the Bears for now because I think the Bears have a better roster. The Titans, I can't. They're not going to be a dumpster fire most likely. I don't know what to expect from them. They're just the biggest wild card, or I have no idea where if Levis is good and the O line is good, he's got some weapons, but I think Levis to me, even if he's good, I think he's going to be a bit of a bonehead still, where he's just going to have some high. I forgot which stat it was, but there's a stat just the percentage of turnover worthy throws, and Levis was pretty high near the top by a significant margin. So we'll see. Is he going to be a mayo eating Blake Bortles? That's kind of the vibes I get from
I
him.
that's how I feel too about Will Levis.
I don't
Is
think
that
he's awful. He's got a lot of physical
he's
tools,
like he's got a really strong arm. Like there's nothing taken away from that. But some of the wild throws and the turnover worthy stuff, like you mentioned, is makes me worry
and
about
the
him.
off
And
the
we're not
field
saying that too
stuff,
because we're Jaguar fans and they
just the
ended our
off the
season
field
last
stuff
season.
too.
The Mayo stuff
Not
and
even the male stuff, but the
the
other off
other
the field.
the,
I
what the
could I
leak.
could see I could see Blake leaking his own shit. I could see it. Just yeah, that's me. Yeah, I have
Uh
sex. I could see Blake owning up to it fully too. I don't know. I could see the Titans just being. I feel their ceiling is about 7 or 8 wins, and their floor is 4 wins. But I don't know. It really just depends because they just have so many
they're a
moving pieces
weirdly it's a
on
weirdly
both off.
constructed it's a weirdly constructed team at the end of the day. The
And
way
their
that
secondary is just. Yeah, Snead is really good. Awuzie is okay. Kevin Byard. Well, no,
no
they
Byers
got
not there anymore.
yeah. They have another old safety, Quandre Diggs. Yes, they have old safety number one, and then Jamal Adams. I don't understand why you would sign Jamal Adams to start in the year 2024, but okay, throw at him every
Okay.
single play. Yeah, if I'm Doug Peterson, I'm telling Evan Ingram, get ready to catch 15 balls. Pause, but
Okay. Is Lance Armstrong one of those balls he has to catch? Sorry. I guess we're in
he
agreement.
does be
Chicago.
catching tennis balls. So
How this turned to Tennessee Titans slander hour just
we
yeah.
are two Jags
Yeah.
fans. Is that
Yeah.
really any surprise? I'm not even slandering the Titans
It's
fully
just like
because I
we're
think they could
confused.
surprise.
I'm just confused about their team. That's just all. I don't know. Oldest wide receiver group in the league. Like I know some very
I
good
don't even know
defensive
if Nuke is
players.
playing though. Nuke might not be playing week one.
Calvin really has to be wide receiver one in another AFC South team. That'll surely go well.
Well, as long as he doesn't get pressed every play, I think he'll
Yeah.
have a chance. So I don't know. I guess I guess Bears,
I think
but
just vibes is better in Chicago than Tennessee, but that's just
yeah, the
I'm
Chicago. I
going
think the
off
problem
of
with
vibes.
Chicago, the vibes might be too. The vibes might be. I don't even want to say fraud, but the vibes might be too high, where they could still
Yeah.
be a good team, but as
Where they
long
just ride
Caleb
too close to
Williams,
the sun and they burn out. But I just feel
I
like
think
Caleb,
I think Caleb will be good, but I
yeah.
think them going 8, 9, 9, and 8 would still be a pretty good year for a rookie quarterback, all things considered, and then
Yeah.
pushing for the playoffs. So I guess we'll see.
All right, so we both chose Chicago. Next game, I don't think there will be any debate from us here. New England and Cincinnati in Paul Brown Stadium. I think we're pretty much in
Yeah,
agreement.
probably Cincinnati
Cincinnati.
because Patriot. I can see it. The Patriots keeping it competitive is the defense.
I,
As long as okay, my thing with the
I,
Patriots
yeah.
offensive line stinks,
Receivers
but it
stink.
was
Their receivers fucking
I
stink.
still think they're in a better spot than they were last year. And
Are
last year they had
they?
some. I think last year they had some pretty close. Even the one game they had will give us the Colts was what 10-6. The Patriots had a point where they were 0-3, and their opponents didn't score more than 10 points. So if the defense can still be respectable, they might sneak out a few. I feel like 6 wins is their tops. Well, they're gonna be an annoying team no matter how many wins they have because of the defense. They're probably gonna be a little sticky. They did lose some players. I know
I just
Barmore's
think that
hurt right now.
offenses will be like one of the worst in the league. I just can't ever see them
Yeah, it's just the O
they're
line. The
awful.
O line's probably gonna get Jacoby killed. So kind of said the same thing about the Bengals though on their O line for a while. Obviously they have. We'll see. a lot of it depends on if Jamar Chase plays, which I just spent $48 on him in auction, so I hope he plays week one. But there's rumors that he's supposed to get a deal. It's already happened, but it's going to be announced soon because if you're the Bengals, you obviously don't want to hold off. So if
Yeah.
Jamar Chase plays, then I'll be comfortable. If Jamar Chase doesn't play, and then I'll take the Bengals by a closer margin. But I could see the Patriots kind of bringing the Bengals to the mud a little bit too.
All right, Cincinnati for both of us, and our Hitler versus Stalin matchup of the week: Houston Texans versus Indianapolis Colts.
I kind of want the Colts to win because it would be hilarious if after all the dick riding people have been doing, if the Texans just came out kind of flat. And I mean, the Colts almost won last year, so I don't know, Jim. The Colts are also another team where I don't know how they're going to. They're not going to be bad. They're going to be around 500 at the minimum. How much better is the question? I mean, I saw, I'll pick the Colts for chaos.
This is my first disagreement with you in a while, buddy. I just feel like the Texans are just too talented. Until they prove me that it's just not going to mesh well, I'm just going to assume CJ Stroud will just be very good. I think I probably debated against choosing one of them in my fantasy, which is why I confused them both. I don't know. I just
I
feel
mean,
like a lot of too many weapons not to like produce on Sunday. Is it going to be
I mean, even
Diggs? Is it going to
even
be
last,
Nico? Is it going
yeah.
to be, is it going to be Tank? Is it going to be Dalton Schultz? Is it going to be hell Joe Mixon now? It just seems like a lot on paper. So as they prove me wrong on the field, then I'll choose Houston until otherwise. That's just me. I think they're really, really good. I hate to say it. I think they're that good.
I think they're good. I think I just with Houston, it's kind of the same thing where I just don't want to see a little bit more of just, yeah. I mean, obviously they had a good run, but just the same thing with the Jazz. Can they do it back again? So
Hmm.
yeah, I guess. I mean, even last year the Colts played the Texans. They almost swept the Texans, even
Yeah.
with losing Richardson. So we'll see. But thing with Richardson is just
That's why
again
too. I
he
guess
has
I choose
17
Houston.
dropbacks
Yeah.
since high school. Or not, 17 games since high. 17 drops would be crazy because he literally won a game. But he's
Mhm.
really. I feel with Richardson, it's just how much
It's
of the bonehead will show because the
yeah.
Colts secondary is kind of food. So I
Can
could
his
see
talent, yeah, can his talent outshine some of the mistakes that he'll probably make early on in the
even in the
season?
first game he played versus last year, he still had some good moments. It was just,
Hmm.
and you could tell he was really raw. He's still pretty raw because he barely played. So, okay, yeah, we can agree to disagree, but either
Yeah,
way, I don't think no one's really going to be happy who wins. You just want to tie.
of course. All right. Uh Panthers Saints in New Orleans. Who you got?
I literally saw a tweet. I said you get tickets to this for the price of two Domino's pizzas and a drink. And then they actually looked up Domino's prices with cheesy bread, and it was $25. And one of the sections is $25.
Who you got?
I'll pick the Panthers for chaos too.
You just want chaos. Week one
I
is the
don't think
worst, is the weirdest week in the
week
football.
one is just so full of chaos though, just because everyone just looks a little bit new. I mean, I think the Panthers will be by virtue of just not having by not having Panthers should be have to be better. I mean, I'm not saying they can't get worse, but I can't I don't see it being that much better. I mean, the Saints, I guess they got. I don't even know if the Saints really got that much better, to be honest, because they also have to shed a lot of talent. So I think both of these teams
No
are
more
not that
slant
great.
man. No more slant man.
I mean, he was
That's
barely on the field anyways.
yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
fair. But
So I guess I mean I don't I actually if the Saints beat the Panthers, I wouldn't be shocked. But the Saints are also bad. So I guess
I
Panthers.
I'm a big Bryce Young believer too, and I still think New Orleans wins this game. It's just because the Superdome tax is like pretty good. They're very good at home, so I'll just go for that. Just home field advantage. If I don't know who I think is like better, because I think Carolina has potential, but we just never seen it on the field. So I'll just choose New Orleans just because we've seen the Superdome factor in person. They're really good when they're going at home.
Yeah, so I guess I keep thinking about that game, even though we won, thankfully.
Yeah. All right, Minnesota versus the New York Giants in East Rutherford. That's also weird. Sam Darnold versus Daniel Jones. Two very beloved figures in the city of New York, as we always say.
The Giants are wearing their throwback uniforms, which I have you seen those the
Yes, I
throwback
have. Of
uniforms?
course I have.
Okay, I have a hot take.
Okay, you have the hot take?
If they change the pants from khaki to white, the uniforms would actually be kind of fire.
I
But
agree.
everyone was saying, "Oh, it's terrible, it's terrible." I just think the khaki pants throws everything off because
I
the
think because
helmet
they try to be too true. It's like
they try to
too
be
true
too old
no,
school.
too true to it's like too true to the old look. There's a reason
Yeah,
why we stuck away from the but I like it as the fact that is true to like what football used to be. That's why I actually like kind of tolerate it. It's not I'm not saying it's a good uniform, but the fact that it's true to the throwback look in the 1920s, just like all right, I get it, but the execution, I get it. I get why people don't like it, but I personally kind of dig it personally.
if I was in Madden, if I
Yeah,
was playing the Giants,
you're
just
just gonna
white
put the
pants.
yeah, you're just gonna use the regular white pants with the throwback
I
jersey,
promise
right?
that uniform will actually be kind of tough, but we'll have to see the terrible khaki version on the field. So
Yeah.
I'm picking Vikings solely for that because of the pants. That I don't have any. I don't think both
I
these
don't
teams
know
are going
if
to be
I
good.
I don't know if I'm a sleeper Giants fan just because my wife is a New York Giants fan. I feel like after all the shit Daniel Jones has got, he's gonna have a play where he actually helps them win the game for some reason. Am I a sucker for the New York Giants? Probably. I just choose the Giants because I have a feeling Daniel Jones somehow isn't as terrible as he was last year. It can't get any worse for Daniel Jones, can it? It can't
Probably
get
not,
worse.
but I don't know that pick six
The
he threw in
Duke
the
Blake Bortles
preseason.
cannot get any worse, can he?
That pick he threw in the
Yeah,
preseason was
it was
bad
pretty
though.
bad.
So
His
I
first
don't
game
know,
back
Jim.
after a while, but yeah, can the Duke Blake Bortles not become the Duke Blake Bortles is it's a very good argument, but I like Daniel
So we
Jones
have
for
the
some
Duke
reason.
Blake Bortles and the Kentucky Blake Bortles. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Mayo Bortles. You got Mayo Bortles and Duke Blake Bortles. Highly educated or Mayo boy version. All right, we're into our first 4 o'clock slate game. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers. I hate that they're both not from where I watched them start when I started watching football. They're not in the same place. The Vegas
Once
Raiders and the
again,
LA Chargers.
I guess the Chargers. I don't really know. I mean, Chargers just so new offense. Are they going to run the ball
Jim
4 times a game
Harbaugh.
or 50 times a game?
Jim Harbaugh versus Antonio Pierce is also a weird head or John is it yeah, Jim Harbaugh versus Antonio Pierce is a weird head coaching matchup too. I also trust Justin Herbert more than Gardner Minshew, so I choose Chargers. That's
Yeah,
just my take.
that's fair. Wait, do we pick a winner? Yeah, for Vikings and Giants.
Yeah, you chose Minnesota, I chose the
Okay.
New York Giants. We
So yeah, I
disagree
guess we'll
on that
both
one.
pick the Chargers. I mean,
I
Raiders,
just
if
I can't.
for their sake, they should tank, but they're not going to tank, which is the problem. So they're
Antonio
gonna.
Pierce is too good of a coach to like not tank. That's the thing, though. He actually inspires like
Yeah, he
players to play
inspires the
for.
defense to play hard. I don't know how the offense will do,
Poor Devontae
especially.
Adams, free Devontae Adams
I
again.
mean, I also drafted, but he was like kind of low in fantasy, offense
Yeah,
considered. So I
yeah.
think Minshew will still give him the ball and a lot. Will it be great targets? I don't know. As long as Minshew give him a hospital ball, that's all I need. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess Chargers.
Denver Broncos, Seattle Seahawks, and I don't know what it's not CenturyLink anymore. Right? It's like Lumen Field, I think. So, Broncos, Seahawks in Seattle.
The Broncos aren't that bad this year, and actually kind of surprised. I feel I've kind of flip flop because beforehand I was saying the Broncos are probably going to be the worst team in the league this year. They're going to be awful. They're just going to be very disappointing. The more I think about it, Sean Payton can kind of cook up a scheme. Bo Nix isn't great, but Bo Nix isn't terrible. They have a couple weapons. I mean, not a ton. It's not great weapons. I guess. I mean, Seattle to me is the high middle class, and Denver is the low middle class, if that makes sense. I mean, Denver might be worse in the little class. I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt just because,
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
though I don't think
they have a coach that's proven to win in this league compared to like first time head coach, and I don't know who their head coach is. Isn't it like
Mike McDonald,
Mike
which
McDonald? It's
I
like
think
Mike
he's
McDaniel and Mike McDonald like throws me
yeah.
off. Stop having two
They have
Mike
the Mike
Micks.
McDaniel in Miami and the Mike McDonald's in Seattle, literally just
Yeah,
opposite sides of the country, just a
yeah.
Mike Mc.
A
I
Mike
mean, yeah,
Mick.
Seattle just has the first time. Even their offensive coordinator is he was calling plays at UW last year, so going from college to NFL. I mean, I could see this one being kind of weird just
Close.
because
Yeah.
Seattle is they never play normal football games ever, so yeah, this one being a close game, we're not surprised, but I guess yeah,
Yeah, I think we both agree with the Seattle Seahawks for this one. And then ooh, probably the game of the 4 o'clock slate for
Cowboys and
425.
Browns.
Yep.
Come on, yeah, I was gonna say, America's team for that Fox 4 p.m. slate.
Yep.
Cowboys.
Tom Brady's commentating, guys. We get to see Tom Brady talk about football again. That's what I really want to hear.
Well, Brady's either going to be amazing or just everyone hates him. Is it going to be Romo where he's amazing and everyone hates him after a while, or everyone just hates
Yeah.
him off rip? I just can't figure which.
I don't know, Jim. Sorry. You're the one who says
I can't rock with the Browns. I'm sorry. Until they get rid of you know who behind under center,
of course.
I'm picking the Browns to go 0-17.
I can't say that I disagree with you there. Oh, let me see. I don't even know who I chose to pick this game. I'm gonna go to my board. I chose the Cleveland Browns. So who did you choose? Oh, you chose Dallas because you can't choose against the
I
Raptors.
can't rock. The Browns roster is so good, then you look at their quarterback and you just
Ooh.
freak a little bit.
That's why it's like I think despite the rapist at quarterback, they're gonna win this game because their defense is that good.
Although I don't know, I feel Dak kind of has to come out hot just because of contract stuff.
Well, I just feel like it's if it's any time for a hilarious season for the Dallas Cowboys, this might be the one where everything
I
gets.
don't know. I
They
feel
bring back Ezekiel Elliott. They want a quarterback who wants to get paid. They kind of paid other people around him, so I this could be a disaster. But it's probably not. They're gonna finish like 10-7, 11-6,
they're
like they
gonna win
usually do
12 games again to then lose
in the
in the
first
wild
round. Yeah, in the
again.
first round
And
again.
then Mike McCarthy, another Mike. He won't be in the NFL
Stop.
after this year
So
though.
all we need to
Oh, he's
do.
getting booted
So
though.
all I need to do to become a head coach in the NFL is to have a Mick last name. So I have to
Mike,
be
change your
John
name to
Michael McBagay.
yeah, yeah. So John Michael McVay, and then just say you shook Sean McVay's hand or
McGay.
Shanahan's hand one time, and
Yeah.
then yeah, head coaching job.
Apparently that's all you need these days. All right. So Washington Commanders, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Raymond James. Who do you got?
I mean, just Tampa, just because the Commanders, one of those teams where the defense will probably be terrible because they have a bunch of old vets. At least, maybe it'll be better to end the year with Dan Quinn. Offense, I have no idea what to expect. You have Jaden Daniels. He's got Terry McLaurin. Then he's got Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson. So I guess Tampa. And I'm not even super high on Tampa just because I still am worried about Baker Mayfield a little bit. I kind of have to see him. Baker's that guy where I don't want to hate on him too much because when he's good, he's fun. But the problem he's the most volatile core. Baker Mayfield is Oklahoma Blake Bortles. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? But okay, he's better than Blake. But in terms of the volatility, he's just very. I don't
Give or
know
take.
which.
Yeah, but he was really good to end the year last year, where it's like,
I mean,
okay,
he
I
was
see.
good. It's just one of those. Yeah, he was good. New play caller with a play caller. So that's my only thing. But Tampa should win this pretty comfortably, I should say.
Yeah, I kind of agree there. And I also go Tampa Bay just because I don't know what to expect about Jalen Daniels. I don't think he'll be bad, but it's just like, there's that RG3 kind of like comparison just because of how good he will be running the ball. If
But
he doesn't,
RG3 played in a Shanahan offense.
yeah, who was
I don't know
really
if
good
the
until
Kingsbury.
they killed him. So I hope it doesn't have the same fate if he is really good for the Commanders, but I still say Tampa just because they're more well established. But I think I have Terry McLaurin on one of my fantasy teams, so I hope that they produce just because. Maybe in garbage time, that'll be fun. I need Terry McLaurin to get a touchdown. That's all. But all right, the first of two primetime slates for Sunday and Monday night. LA Rams, Detroit Lions. Who you got?
I still want to pick. I'll pick the Rams just for.
Ooh.
I mean, I feel the Lions did get better. So did the Rams offensive line got reinforced. I mean, yeah, the Lions literally won by a point in the playoff game last year. So I think it'll be this kind of the same environment week one. Everyone's hype. Although actually, is it the Rams? Because I know the Rams don't play their starters at all.
In the
So they're one
preseason.
of those teams where I don't want to try to just say because they didn't play in the preseason they're going to be slow as a default. But obviously, when you don't play football, it takes a while to get ramp up, and practice is a thing. But when you're just sitting out the whole preseason and you don't see any players, so if it was week 10, I might be down to pick the Rams. I mean, yeah, the Rams. But since this is preseason Rams who don't play any of their guys, I don't know how much the Lions played, but by virtue of the Lions probably just having a few more experience. So
Yeah,
let me just do a quick Google.
for the Rams.
Yeah, I know Sean McVay was. I'm never gonna play anybody in preseason.
He never does, I feel like.
So yeah, I guess we'll kind of see how everything goes. But yeah, I feel those are both two pretty good teams. So it's not. That one's probably definitely going to be a good game. Looking forward to that Sunday night. So and then
Yeah,
what's the month?
I got the Detroit because I think it'll be less than a field goal game where somebody has to make a game winning kick. So, but I feel like Detroit's just a better team. But I of course will never doubt Matt as McVay's offense for sure. But the Monday night game will be the Jets against the Niners. Why do we keep throwing Aaron Rodgers out there Monday Night Football to start the season? I don't know.
There's no way it happens again, right? There's no way it happened. But if it have, I don't. So one of my best friends, he's a Jets fan. I
Oh
don't want
no.
this to happen to the Jets. I want for their sake, they've been through a lot. Haven't been to the
Yeah.
playoffs in a
But
long
if any
time.
person deserves it, would Aaron Rodgers be that person to deserve it a
I
second
mean,
go
at least they
around?
have Tarod as a backup, so it's
Yeah.
not Zach Wilson. But
Yeah, but then
the fact,
he's also has like terrible injury luck too.
oh
And
yeah, there's the
uh,
same dude who lost the
does the
starting job because
shot.
the
Oops.
doctor was Justin Herbert. But
The doctor was Justin Herbert.
would it be surprising if the fact that not only is it Monday night
Against
after
a
a
team
year,
that is really good in the front seven too, that will
on
get
top,
to the
they have the
quarterback.
same player that sacked him last year. So if
Who? Shaq
Leonard Floyd
Lawson?
has no Leonard
Oh,
Floyd,
Leonard Floyd.
Leonard Floyd
Okay.
has the chance to do the funniest thing ever. Okay, it would be terrible, but at just
It
literally,
would
I don't
for
know.
pure entertainment aspect in New York
I
Jet
don't
fans'
know what would
ears.
be more funny if it was the first play of the game and he got sacked, or if it was literally
The
the
fourth
last
play
play.
again.
Yeah,
Or the
the
fourth
no
play again.
no just fourth quarter he throws a touchdown, and then that's the last season, just him throwing a dime, just the same way Nick Foles got
Oh,
hurt, getting
died.
hurt on a
And then he took
touchdown.
all of his ability disappeared to that one hit against Kansas City. Oh, damn, he threw it. Oh, he's dead.
So I'll pick the 49ers. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even hate the Jets. They're their fans. I want to do
We
well.
just need a comic foil every year. Just sad that it's the New York Jets every single year.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, yeah, poor New York sports teams. Well, I mean, at least the Yankees are doing fine.
Eh,
Poor New York football teams.
yeah. I just think the Niners. It's their all in year, so I won't pick against
Although
them
I wouldn't
unless
be that surprised if the wheels are gonna fall off sooner than later. But hey, I don't know how they're gonna pay. They're
everyone.
gonna,
You
yeah. I
can't
mean,
pay
Purdy's
everyone.
next, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, I guess at least one game will last of the
Yeah,
week. So
we can't pussyfoot it around it anymore. We waited long enough. Jaguars, Dolphins, Miami Gardens. You already know how I feel about this. I think Jaguars just come out and not dominate, but they show more than the Dolphins just because they're a little bit more banged up. the Jaguars are running off of good vibes, probably the most positive vibes entering a season. Even like past like last season, I just feel like there's more. There's a renewed energy. Everyone's getting paid. The veterans will, definitely be happier knowing that they got their stuff, and now it's just to prove to the world why we could have been the one seed in the AFC last year before all it went to shit. I think we get back to that form.
I just saw a tweet from the Jags. They retweeted Eric Armstead. Hold on.
Oh, really?
I didn't feel like we had a team that could win the Super Bowl. And, being here and being around the guys, I definitely see that I'm surrounded by talent. Our defensive line is stacked. All the guys up front, we're deep. Guys are super talented. Guys have been super successful in this league just already. But I think in this scheme, we're going to be able to take things to a new level. And I'm definitely excited about taking the field with them very soon.
Damn, I'm kind of hyped now.
Oh no. I'm feeling hot and
Too
bothered.
much,
But why'd
too
you
much,
why'd
too
you
much,
play that?
too much hype. Yeah, too
Why-
much hype. Dolphins
Don't do
by
that to me
30.
after I said that all about the Jags. You're gonna make me ooh, you're don't do that to me,
There's
Javal.
206 bones in the human body. 207 when you're listening to Eric Armstead talk about the Jags.
Ooh. I know you want to, Javal.
I can't.
I
I can't. The only time I'm picking them to win is versus Dirty Horny Sex Man next week.
So you're not gonna say it, but that's gonna be your pick. I know you can't say it, but that's gonna be your pick. Okay, that's fine.
For
I
now,
did it full chest out.
I'll just
Jack's gonna
I'll
go on top, but
I'll pick the game to be close. That's all I'm picking. Win
okay,
or
but
lose, it's going to be a game where
I just have to put a team down. You're just gonna make me put that team down, though, right?
I'll put the Fins, but I will say that
Okay,
if the
yeah.
if the Jags win though, I'm posting a picture on Instagram, just Fins up. I mean Jags up, Fins down. Just the
I hate Finns because because I'm a UNF grad. Shout out the UNF Ospreys over there. And their thing is though is that the UNF every time we had a free throw, put our hands up and go swoop. Like a couple of years later, the Dolphins copied the same thing from UNF, where every time they had a field, they go fins up like this. It is like the most stupid fucking thing ever, and they took it from us. Yeah, fins up. So
so you want Fins down.
yeah, fins down.
So Jags
Fins
up, Fins
down.
down.
Jags up, fins down.
Oh,
You know,
I guess that's it. Well, that's our
that's our
week one
opening
NFL
pod.
preview pod. Always great to be talking ball. Are you recording this for our preview picks?
Yeah, I recorded everything. So,
Okay,
but
well, yeah, I guess
I legit. Oh, I have a note on my iPad because I use this for every podcast. So I might as well keep a track of everything now. Everything's here. Look at our beautiful faces. That's very, very weird. But yeah, everything's written down, and I will keep track of record every single week to end the pod. And I guess whenever we have guests on, they can pick along with us to see. Like we'll do a
I,
guest spot.
I might be able to call my friend tomorrow. We'll just
Yeah,
see
if you
about
want to make
this.
a second pod tomorrow, we can.
I'll just worst case, we have this, but NFL is back, John.
We made it to NFL football. USA, USA,
Glory.
USA, USA.
Now we're going to
Jaguars, please.
Brazil.
I know you're right. Well,
Sao
USA tonight,
Paulo.
Brazil
Sao
tomorrow.
Paulo. Sao
Sao
Paulo.
Paulo, Sao Paulo. I don't know any Corinthians chance because that's the stadium they're playing at. Is at Corinthians Stadium. So I don't know any Portuguese. I know the ladies at the stadium will probably be stunning. Just that'll be a thing. I know there will be a camera shot where it's gonna be dirty, sexy, horny man will probably be start jerking off. We can talk about him next week
Do they
though.
do
We
massages? Do they do massages in Brazil?
this has now gone off the rails because
When
we're just
are when are we on the rails?
that's true. I'm already on the hype train for the Jags, and I
Okay, John.
that Eric Armstead video got me feeling. They're gonna make me watch that and go to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
he dropped a full pod for on his third and long. So,
Mm.
but before we go, John, what's your
Oh,
prediction?
you need to do one big season prediction. You're right.
I was looking for the
Uh,
game. We're gonna see. Okay, one game prediction,
okay,
one season
one game,
prediction.
one season. Yeah, we got to
Okay.
end it off on that. That's true. We need something to leave the season that we can go back to.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Okay, I'll start my game prediction, and then you'll start your season prediction. My game prediction will be that Gabe Davis gets off to a good start. Like I know he struggled throughout the preseason, but I just feel like with a lot of focus on Brian Thomas Jr., I think that Gabe Davis will get his. I think he will surpass 100 yards. I'll even put money on it in Hard Rock. I'll think I'm gonna
So,
start
okay,
putting.
who do you think? I
Okay.
was kind of a question. So, what
Yeah.
do you think the passing pecking order is? I think that's one thing we can kind of week by week and just kind
Yeah.
of predict who has
Guess.
the most targets, catches, and yards.
Targets, Evan Ingram, number one. Yards, Gabe Davis. And then touchdowns, I'll say a tie between Evan Ingram and I think Brian Thomas will get the touchdown for some reason too.
I think they're gonna try to
Yeah.
force, yeah, they're gonna try to get one to him, either both to build up his confidence and just the hey defenses, we have a fast dude now, so we can play single high, or you don't have to play single high.
And that's the thing though, Gabe Davis isn't even slow either. He just has a bigger body where it doesn't even look like he's fast. But he's not gonna be the one doing the vertical routes like he did in Buffalo over the past few years. So I'm curious to see how he is in his new role. That's one thing I didn't even touch upon too.
I
But
mean,
I'm weirdly confident in Gabe Davis.
I guess my projection is I think Kirk will probably have. I think Kirk's gonna lead the league in targets. I mean, not the league, but lead the team
Kirk,
in
oh, the
targets.
Jags. Okay, I can
Just
see that.
because this game, this week, I mean, unless Ramsey plays. I mean, if Ramsey doesn't play, it doesn't matter. But if Ramsey plays, I think the Dolphins have a couple between Javon Holland and the linebacker unit. They have guys who they can throw at Ingram. I know the Dolphins slot corner kind of struggled last year, so I feel if there's one matchup, they probably
Christian Kirk.
just
Yeah.
if just to kind of get him in a rhythm. So I probably be Kirk and then Kirk, then Ingram, and then I think actually no, I think Kirk's gonna have the most targets, and I think Brian Thomas is probably gonna have. I think Brian will have the third most targets, but the second most yards, maybe the first, honestly, because I do think they're gonna actually try to emphasize getting him off to a hot start, whether it's getting some scheme stuff, and then my season prediction. My season prediction is, oh boy, by the end of the year, there's a linebacker controversy between Chad Muma and Devin Lloyd. The only
Very
reason I'm
vague, but
saying that,
I
I'm saying that because both on the depth chart, it's Muma or Lloyd to start. And then
so choose
even,
one. Who do you think gets more snaps at the end of the year between those two?
okay, I'm going to give some context to I say
Okay.
this because
Yeah.
so when I was listening to Gus Logue earlier, and he's breaking down some quotes. Fred Taylor had a quote about Devin Lloyd, and he was just saying that he sees all the talent with Devin Lloyd, but in terms of the classroom, he doesn't see him being fully there. So just based off that, I'll say Muma.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't.
I agree with you too. That's the thing. I think I also agree Muma gets more snaps than Lloyd. For better or for worse.
I
Because we
guess
know
it's
Muma has all the physical traits to be a really good linebacker
Muma.
in this
It's
league.
not
Yeah.
even. Yeah, I mean, he was probably where he went. They're both
Mhm.
pretty similar athletes, but those are my predictions so for
Okay.
both the season and the game. I mean, we'll see how everything happens, but you're big on Gabe. I think Brian Thomas might have. They're gonna try to get him
Yeah.
rolling a
I just
little
because
bit.
we saw so little of what Gabe Davis could be, I think he'll actually try against an opponent he's familiar with and will get his. But my season long prediction is that second straight 10 sack season for Trayvon Walker. He finally puts it together and he'll make a Pro Bowl for the first time this year. I think that's not
That's.
too much to ask for.
I mean,
I'm
the
a big Trayvon
defense.
fan.
Yeah, the defense
With
between
the
Josh.
presence of Eric Armstead there in the big and in the middle too, whenever they swap Trayvon and Eric Armstead around, I think that will just benefit Trayvon Walker immensely. Because you already have a perennial like top guy in Josh Hines Allen on the other side, anyways. So I think it's time for Trayvon Walker to get that next step big season.
I'm looking forward to everything. But John, my man, I'm so excited to do a season review. And then yeah, I guess Monday or Tuesday we'll try to do the recap pod. So just let me know what day works with you,
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
I'll be wheels up from Miami. So
Yeah,
I'll
man.
be I'll
Let
let you
me
know
know
if they
how it
spin the
is.
bottle.
Oh boy, of course you got to. I'm gonna be at work too, like at that time where y'all start tailgating and all that. So let
I
me
didn't
know. I'll
yeah
respond in time.
I
So,
didn't get the tailgate package from
uh,
BCB. I just got the tickets. So I'm just gonna see who I recognize, and I'll bring some money, and I'll just say, hey, I don't even need a drink. I just want to be around the fans, hear the Circle
Yeah.
Up song, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But all right, my good man. I will next time we talk. Well, hopefully, football will be played. So
Well, was it 1-0? I hope it's gonna be 1-0. It's gonna show opposite for me. 1-0. Let's go 1-0, guys.
I try and
Javal,
do the backwards.
love you, buddy.
All right, John. Well, thank you for everyone for listening to us so far. And yeah, we're just two dudes talking ball as always.
All right, catch you later.